So you're looking to move to Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes in 2023? Well, in this video, I talk all things pro and all things con of moving to and living in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Orlando Living with D. And if this is your first time, please press the thumbs up button because we bring you community videos like this one all throughout Central Florida and Tampa area. And if you are looking to build a brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. That's where I bring you model homes throughout Central Florida and Tampa areas. Now guys, before I get into the pro and con, I want to just give this disclaimer. I do this every single time because I want you to know it's just my take. Nothing is set in stone. What works for me could be a pro for me and a con for you, and vice versa. So just take this with a grain of salt because it really depends upon your situation. And talking about the pro and cons of moving to Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes, the very first pro is that it's a planned urban development community. It's one of the major communities here in Central Florida. And if you're into recreational things, like you like parks, you want to jog around, you just like that hometown atmosphere, then Waterford Lakes and Avalon Park is definitely a community to be in. It's something very similar to the Dr. Phillips, which had a lot of restaurants, a lot of recreational parks, or Lake Nona. Avalon Park was the very first one in that regard. So it's a planned community. If you haven't watched my video on Avalon Park and Waterford communities as a whole, please make sure you do so. If it's not released yet, it will be releasing very soon. Look under the community tab. That's where I kind of go a lot deep into the Avalon Park and Waterford area. I talk about schools, shopping, dining, housing market, everything that you really need to know to figure out, hey, if Avalon Park, Waterford area is going to be good for me. Now, getting back to the pro of moving to and living in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. So the next pro of moving to and living in Waterford and Avalon Park area is that it has that hometown feeling. It's a planned community. You have all kind of real estate. If you're looking for a single family home, condo, townhome, or just a big mansion, gated community, non-gated community, on the golf, not on the golf, it gives you that option. It has a very good infrastructure, and there's still a lot of development that is coming to Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. So it kind of provides you with everything that you are looking and then some. So if you have a specific kind of needs, it does cater to it. So if you're just looking for a condo where you can just stay here for a couple of months and then be out somewhere else, it does that. Or you're looking for a townhome, and the business district itself has all the shops that you could literally walk to or cycle to. They also have a shuttle that runs, so you can actually get around. And a lot of people that live in the Waterford and the Avalon Park area has their own little golf carts that they can use to go around. Now let's talk about the last pro of moving to and living in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. So if you're like a foodie like me, one of the perks of being in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes is that it has a lot of choices. You know, mine one probably shows right there. I love to eat out. I love to try different kind of cuisines. You know, I am shooting this at the downtown Avalon Park. There's a Tavern right behind me. There's a coffee shop right next to it. There's actually a beer company right across from it. There's a lot of options. And in Waterford Lakes, they have the mall. They have everything that you really need when it comes to the shopping and dining options. You're also not very far to the Millennium Mall, which is one of the major malls, or the Florida Mall, which is also just towards the Millennium Mall area. You're just about 30 minutes or so. So that's one of the perks. So everything that you really need, from your local groceries to eating out, fine dining, everything is right there. And I think that is one of the biggest perks, you know, and I love that fact about Waterford and Avalon Park. Now that the pro is done, let's talk about the con of moving to and living in Waterford Lakes and Avalon Park. So when it comes to the cons of moving to and living in Waterford and Avalon is the traffic. The traffic could be absolute nightmare during the peak hours early in the morning, going into the downtown, whether you take the expressway or you take the 50, or during the afternoon hours, just when all the offices are kind of leaving. So it could be a nightmare, and it could also be expensive because the expressway, which is the 408, tall road that you can actually take to easily go around is usually pretty much really well during the after office hours or something in between. But if you are going to use it from like 7:30 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock to kind of go into the downtown area, it could be pretty congested. And then towards the end of the day, between 4:30 to about 5:30, 6 o'clock, it could be a little bit of an issue. So that is something that you need to really plan ahead. So that is one of the major cons. But then again, you know, if you're working from home, then who really cares? And that's why I always say that the pro and con is really more situational than it is. Let's talk about the next con of moving to and living in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. One of the cons of moving to Waterford Lakes and Avalon Park area is the average median price. Average median price at the time of the shoot is about in the higher 400, like 485, 490 for Avalon Park, and about 550 or so for the Waterford Lakes. And when you are looking to build a brand new home, there's not a lot of communities. I know that Pulte was building a community that's almost sold out. There's a KB home. The average median price for a 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom home starts at about 425, and that's just the base price. By the time you add the lot, you add the design option, you're going to be probably more closer to 450, 500 mark. And there's not a lot of options. And by the way, if you are looking to build a brand new home anywhere in Central Florida and Tampa area, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show, both in English and Orlando Home Show in Espanol. That's where I bring you model homes throughout Central Florida and Orlando and Tampa areas. And we show you a lot of models. But that, I think, could be a barrier for you if your price point is not there, because it has kind of gone up. If you're looking for a townhome or a condo, you probably can get into Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes for probably about middle 350s or so. But if a condo, maybe a higher 200. So that is a possibility. But when it comes to brand new, there's not a lot of options because there's not a lot of land available. And again, this con is more situational, just like any other con. So now let's talk about the last con of moving to and living in Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes. One of the other major cons of moving to and living in Waterford and Avalon Park is that it doesn't really have a good transportation system. Now, when it comes to the transportation system, it's pretty bad for pretty much all of Central Florida. There's not a very reliable or a consistent transportation system because it's just very limited. And if you are going to rely on a public transportation, it's kind of a half-a-day adventure. We do have Lennox bus that takes you around from one place to another, but the service is very limited. When you compare that to maybe another major metropolitan city like Chicago or San Francisco, which has great transportation system, and having a car over there is more of a liability than convenience. And over here, you'd really have to have your own car to be able to move from one place to another, and relying on a public transportation system is just not going to work. So again, all these cons that I've discussed and all the pros is just more so about you, what works for you, what works for your family than anything else. I hope that you get a lot of value. If you are looking to build a brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show, as I mentioned before. We really look forward to connect with you. If you are in the market looking to buy a house, whether that be a resale or brand new home, please understand that our services to you is absolutely free. So when you are looking, give us a call. We'll be happy to connect you to a local agent from our team who can then show you around, assist you. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next community video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.